Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all, feel free to submit those through the Q&A. Our representatives are here and available to answer any questions you have during the session. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. In the next couple coming weeks, we do have a transfer fair coming up. So feel free to sign up for college presentations during the transfer fair if you are interested. And you're more than welcome to sign up at the same place that you registered for this one. And lastly, all sessions are being recorded and will be available a week from today at strivescan.com/Carolinas. We are currently in session C4, where my mouse is circling at the moment. And this is also the same order of presentations. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with Alamance Community College.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. And my name is Ashley Pryor, and I will be discussing with you tonight Alamance Community College. I am the coordinator of recruitment and admissions, and I'm so happy that you are joining us this evening. So we'll just jump right into it and talk about some things you ought to know about Alamance Community College. We're located in Graham, North Carolina, pretty much the center of the state, nestled between the Piedmont Triad and Research Triangle Park. We were founded in 1958 as one of the first organized community colleges in North Carolina. We have two main campuses. Our main campus is located in Graham, and then we have our Dillingham Center located just a few exits up the highway. In there, we have our Workforce Development Center, we have our Small Business Center, and then we also have our wonderful cosmetology program. We offer 3 academic divisions that offer over 50 two-year degree programs, over 70 certificates, and over 20 diplomas. Currently, enrollment is approximately 4,200 students per semester. And a fun fact, we have the longest running 2-year biotechnology program in the country. So we're excited in the next couple of years, we're going to have a wonderful biotechnology center of excellence. So we're excited about that. Just the other pictures down here, we're nestled along the Haw River, and then our mascot is Haw the River Otter. So you think, what are the benefits of starting at a 2-year school or Alamance Community College? Well, we have small class sizes. The average is about 21 students. We're close to home and convenient. So if you're kind of unsure about going 2 hours or even an hour away, this can kind of like prepare you for starting the college process. It's very affordable. You can save thousands of dollars. We offer pathways to transfer to the larger universities. And then in addition to those degrees and certificates that can build stackable credentials. We can give you a flexible schedule. So if you work during the day, maybe want to take evening classes, or you want to take classes in the morning and work in the evening, or take online classes, we offer that. We have individualized instruction. So you're going to have small classes with your instructors. And then the nice thing is we do not recommend, or you don't have to have SAT or ACT scores when applying with the admissions process. What we offer at ACC, we have 2 pathways. We have the college transfer pathway, and then our career technical degrees, which are more skilled and hands-on, more focused into an actual area rather than taking just general education classes towards a 4-year. The one thing I will say with the college transfer pathway, you have close to saving of close to $30,000 if you choose to do that, starting at a 2-year school. A little bit about that, you'll complete your high school degree and you'll complete your first 2 years at ACC, which would be your freshman and sophomore year. You will earn your 2-year degree and then transfer to a university of your choice where you'll complete your junior and senior year. Benefits, it's a stepping stone, getting a taste of college, you're earning transfer credits, you're saving thousands of dollars. If you didn't do quite as great as you wanted to in high school, that's okay because you're starting your education record over. And again, it gives you that taste of college. And if you're unsure of a major, that's all right because your general education classes are the same as what you would take at a 4-year school. And then, of course, you can earn an associate's in arts, science, an associate's in engineering or fine arts with us. So just something to think about. But if you're more on the area where you want to work with your hands and learn more skills or trades, you can do that through our career technical degrees. Again, you'll complete high school, you'll come to ACC, and the benefits of this program, it's more specialized training, it's more hands-on learning, you're earning certificates and skills to start a career as soon as possible, and you are entry level ready to go into your career. And the background of this image, this is our automotive program in our Advanced Applied Technology Center. It's a state-of-the-art facility where you'll see a couple more pictures as we continue on. The University Transfer Program gives you the opportunity to transfer to any of the 16 public UNC system schools. So we kind of like to show that ACC can take you wherever you need. And then in addition, we have a couple of co-admission agreements where these are a little bit more strict as far as with the admissions process and deadlines. So we have agreements with ECU, North Carolina A&T, North Carolina State, UNC, UNCG, and then UNCW. Going into those 3 academic divisions, our first one is our Business, Arts, and Sciences, where you have University Transfer, Accounting, Business Administration, Information Technology, Office and Legal Administration, and then our Spanish language certificates. Health and Public Services, you can see obviously we have our cosmetology, histotechnology, biotechnology, nursing, dental assisting, and then medical assisting and medical laboratory technology. Also our industrial technologies, this is where we kind of were talking about the automotive. We have welding, culinary, horticulture, mechatronics and engineering and robotics, welding. And of course, we're going to give you all kinds of success you need in tutoring, hands-on learning from our instructors, but also you're going to get to, get that tutoring and assistance from them. We have multiple clubs you can join. So even though we're a community college, we still have lots of opportunities for you to stay involved and maybe join student government. Trying to get through this here. I don't want to run over my time. The biggest thing at ACC, for one semester, you're looking at just over $2,000 for tuition, activity, books, and supplies. So you're really saving money. Another opportunity we have for students is our Career and College Promise program, where you're dual enrolled in high school and tuition free taking college level classes. And then if you would like to apply to ACC, we have a couple of steps. You need to complete the North Carolina residency, making sure you're an in-state tuition for tuition purposes. You'll submit your application online. It's free, no essay, and then submit your official high school transcript so we can determine where to place you in your classes. If you'd like to see a virtual tour of Alamance Community College, you can search Alamance Community College 360 virtual tour on our website, it'll take you to on our website, but it's on YouTube. And then if you have any questions, feel free to take my contact information. I'd love to talk to you more about ACC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Just a friendly reminder that if you have any questions at all, feel free to submit those through the Q&A. Our representatives are here to answer any questions that you have. And if you have a specific question, to also note the school name. We're going to go ahead now and jump to Piedmont Community College.
Share the slides. Good evening, everyone. I'm from Piedmont Community College. My name is Patricia Hatchett. I am the Director of Admissions and Recruitment. And I just want to give you just a little bit of information about our college. We are located in Roxborough, North Carolina. And we also have a campus in Caswell County, which is Yanceyville, North Carolina. We, like Alamance, we're not far apart. Our campuses are 25 minutes apart. We have buildings in different areas around our counties. We try to make sure that the whole county is represented. In Piedmont Community College, we, as the place where passion prevails, we want to make sure that we embrace all the new innovative activities and things going on, such as technology, innovative teaching methods, new programs of study. We're here to make sure that we have something for every student that comes through our doors. We have a variety of programs I think that you would be interested in. So PCC is definitely a place where you would like to be. Here at PCC, we have it set up where it begins and it ends with you. So you start with us. Once you come in, we will give you the skills or make sure that you have what you need. We will guide you. We will not force you. or anything, we will make sure we will support you so that you, when you finish, it is your success. We don't want to take that away from you. Say, look what we did at PCC. We say, look how PCC and you work together for you to achieve this goal of success. So again, it starts with you and it ends with you. The thing about community college is you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Some of you may start off at the in high school, and you may not have done as well as you had wanted to. You may have been to the 4-year and you had some things that may not went the way you wanted, or you just may want to get an opportunity to get some more classes, some more credits. The community college here at PCC, we're here to help you reinvent yourself because we believe in you. We are invested in you. We want you to be a leader. We want to help you learn from your mistakes. And even the mistakes that if we ever made mistakes, we learn from those as well. And we help you. We want you to be surrounded by motivated people so that the goals you set, you can all start to reach those. We would love for you to take a tour of the college. I know we don't have that opportunity at the time right now, but if you would go to our webpage, which is www.piedmontcc.edu, you can go to that page. And also, if you go to the Piedmont Community College page on YouTube, you can find that tour as well. Our campus is in a rural area, so it's really cool to see what we have in our area. As you can see behind us, behind me in my screensaver, and that's exactly how our campus looks on a bright, sunny day. The pollen we can't help, but we do have that, but it's an awesome place to be. The student clubs and organizations, we believe here at PCC that for a student to be successful, they need to get involved from the beginning. So we have a lot of clubs that we do try to get our students involved. When you have our Student Government Association, we have our first year experience club. We have a Glee club, our STEM, which is our science and mathematics engineering club. We have a medical assistant club, nursing program. We have our Minority Male Success Initiative, and we have Creative Minds, which is a science club. I think we have a few more clubs that are coming along, like our animation club, but there will be more, and we're working with students to get more things available for them. And in the upcoming semester, we will have a gaming club and a gaming team for our students to participate in. Here are the list of the programs that we offer. Each one of our programs are categorized in a set. We have business studies and emerging technologies. We have public safety and administration. Sorry, that's fine. I apologize, it went too quick. We have our health and wellness. I believe we have our technical manufacturing club, as well as our university transfer. On business and emerging studies and technology, we have different things such as our agribusiness. We also have our DEET program, which is digital effects and animation technology. As you can see, our classes in this program are very hands-on. We want the students to get the best opportunity to get the best training they can while they're still a student. So it's actually it's very lucrative, but the work you get beside other people at that time. The public safety and human services program, we have such as criminal justice, we have public safety, law enforcement, we have just different things, and we also work with our fire safety as well. And we do have a great EMT program, fire safety program, where all the firefighters and all from the surrounding counties do work together and they get their certifications and training. Our human services, we actually offer human services, and we have a gerontology program, and we're working towards a substance abuse program under human services. Our university transfer and general education, that's the one where students want to transfer. In all, we have a lot of good things there for you to go under. Our health and wellness, our nursing. Nursing is one of our bigger departments that people love to be a part of. Technical and manufacturing, definitely welding and mechatronics. We have a career coach assessment for students to be a part of to help them determine what they really want to do. That's something that has been very successful. The admission process is simple. You do your application, you submit your transcripts, do your FAFSA, register for your class. And all we do it with a smile. We will work with you as much as possible. All you have to do is come by. You've already talked about the cost of why it's important to come to, maybe go to a 2-year school as opposed to a 4-year. We have our scholarships. The one thing I do want to tell you before I go is our Pace of Promise, the scholarships we offer. If you are a Person County or a Caswell County native, and you have at least a 2.5 GPA, you are eligible for a scholarship that will pay for all your classes, as well as give you a $200 stipend for your books. That's available for all students, and there's 100+ scholarships available for you. We would love to have you here with us. As you see, we love to celebrate our students. And so if you ever have the opportunity and would like to know more about Piedmont Community College, please just give us a call. My information is on the screen, and I'll be here the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Very helpful information. Thank you. Unfortunately, we are missing Piedmont Community College and another school, but I'm excited to introduce our last representative for this session, but certainly not least, from North Carolina State University.
Awesome, thank you. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kaylee Richter. I'm one of the assistant directors in our Office of Undergraduate Admissions, and I'm excited to share a little bit about NC State and what our institution offers. So as a quick overview, NC State is a 4-year public institution located in Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina. Raleigh is consistently ranked one of the best places to live and work in the United States. It offers a really great centralized location and has a lot of different kind of businesses and nonprofits that surround the area. So we're just a couple miles from downtown Raleigh, and then we're also located near Research Triangle Park. So a lot of our students do start establishing connections with internships, co-ops, and volunteer service during their time at State. We are one of the largest institutions in North Carolina, so we have about 36,000 total students and about 26,000 undergraduates. So while it is a larger campus feel, with that also comes a lot of opportunity for involvement. So as far as research goes, NC State is a Research 1 institution. So if you have ever considered undergraduate research, NC State can be a really great place for that. All of our faculty members are participating in research while they're teaching. So even if you're not actively engaged in research, you definitely can reap a lot of the benefits because our faculty members are experts in their fields. We do offer over 100 majors in total. So there's a big variety there. But NC State is known as a STEM institution. So there is typically a big focus on our science, technology, engineering, and math programs. But across the board, about 43% of students are in non-STEM majors. So if STEM is not quite your thing, NC State can still be a great fit. We have over 700 different student organizations or clubs on campus. And then in addition to those clubs, we also offer fraternity and sorority life, intramural and club sports, NC State's marching band, as well as all branches of ROTC. As far as study abroad, there are definitely a lot of different ways that you can do that. We have over 200 different programs in over 60 different countries, and there's a lot of variety when it comes to length of study abroad as well. We do have some semester programs, year-long programs, and then also shorter term trips, which can be more like a week to 10 days. We are ranked top 10 best value public institutions. So we offer a lot of resources for our students, whether that's academic support or career development to really help you in your success after graduation. So I mentioned we offer over 100 majors, and you'll see just a few of the top majors that students were admitted into last year up on the screen. Just one I want to highlight is Exploratory Studies. So that is NC State's undecided major. It can be a really great fit for students who aren't quite sure what they want to study and would like to take some time to kind of learn what's offered before declaring. Or it can be a great fit for students who are kind of torn between two majors and aren't quite sure which direction to go. With NC State, one thing I do want you to take away from today is that you are going to apply and be admitted directly into your major. So if accepted, you do start right in your program. So major selection on the application is definitely an important step. You can list a first and second choice program, and we always recommend you pick 2 different majors, because if you're not quite as competitive for that first choice, we will review you again for your second choice. As far as application deadlines, we offer early action and regular decision. Early action is non-binding, so it's really a chance for you to get your decision earlier on by January 30th. There are some benefits to applying early though, and that would include that you can be considered for our honors and scholars programs, and you'll also receive priority consideration for most of our merit-based scholarships if you apply by that early November 1st deadline. If you are interested in a studio-based major, so that would be like architecture, graphic design, and a few others, you do have to apply by that early action deadline. And then regardless of whether you apply early or regular, once you get your admissions decision, if you're accepted, you have until May 1st to confirm enrollment or to let us know whether or not you plan to attend. So what actually goes into making an application complete? The first thing is the actual application. We use both the Common App or Coalition. There's also an $85 application fee, but we do accept fee waivers. So if you're eligible, check in with your counselor and have them send us that documentation. We also require an official high school transcript to be submitted directly from your high school counselor. And then finally, self-reported SAT or ACT test scores. So for 2022 applicants, so for anyone listening in, we aren't quite sure what the policy will look like for you quite yet. We're part of the larger UNC system, and so they do make that ultimate decision on test score requirements. We were test optional for 2021 just due to limited testing opportunities. But as soon as we know what the plan looks like for 2022, we'll definitely communicate that with everyone. And then as far as our review process goes, just a quick overview, we do have a holistic process. And basically what that means is while academics are at the forefront of review, there are a lot of other things that we take into consideration. And you can see some of those highlighted here. So they include your test scores if those are required, interest in your major, your involvement outside of the classroom, the context of your high school, and then also your individual story. If you'd like to learn more about NC State, you're welcome to go to that website listed there and sign up to get on our interest list. And then our contact information is listed at the bottom as well if you have any questions. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Apologize for the error earlier. Piedmont Community College is here. And so again, we are missing 2 schools, but that's okay because we're going to go ahead now and pivot into our Q&A portion of the session. And so I invite all the representatives if they can turn on their cameras at this time and be ready to answer our questions. Again, if you have any questions at all that come to mind, please submit those through the Q&A. Our representatives are here to answer your questions. And if you have a specific question, to also note the school name. Our first question here is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? Again, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And if you all can get started in the same order in which you all presented in.
So I would say just be optimistic and open-minded to all the options that are out there. You know, it can be overwhelming to look at 4 years versus 2 years, but really look into the programs and see where you can achieve what you're looking for at these colleges, because they're all wonderful, but it's got to be the right fit for you. So just be open-minded.
I agree with Ms. Ashley. Definitely be flexible in what you're looking at. Be willing to make changes for better. Just because I know some of you have been looking from the elementary school where you're planning to go. I'm going to go to Carolina. I'm going to go to Duke. But as time goes on, your plans change, and don't let anybody hold you accountable to saying what you said when you were in the 4th grade that you're going to still do that when you get to the 12th grade. Find out what's the better fit for you. If starting off at a 2-year school and transferring to a 4-year school is your best bet, then you do that. And you do have to look at where you're going, your situation, because your situation doesn't fit what everybody else does. So please remain flexible and just be willing to try something new.
That is a great question. So some advice that I would give is definitely feel free to reach out to colleges and universities. I know when I was applying to schools, I was really nervous to reach out to schools. I wasn't sure if there were people available to talk, but those of us here today can probably tell you we are more than happy to answer questions you might have. So always feel free to call, email, or schedule an appointment with the school. The other thing I would say, kind of like what Patricia said, is do a lot of research. I know it's challenging during these times to visit institutions, but a lot of schools do have virtual tour options. So that's definitely a good way to get a bit familiar with what the school and campus looks like and if you could see yourself there.
And I couldn't agree more. I think it's always helpful to hear great advice from representatives who work directly at the respective institutions. And so all advice is great advice for the most part, at least. So thank you. That's very helpful. Our next question here is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? What is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So Alamance Community College holds an ACC day right after the start of school. So it's just really neat to see all of our instructors, staff, and students all come together. And we actually have a sports court on campus. So in normal times, we would have a DJ and giveaways and Pelican snow cones out there. And it's just a good time for everybody to come together and celebrate all that ACC does. So it's just a really neat event for us to come together. So it's really cool to see that, and our students really enjoy it too.
At Piedmont, we have a variety of different things that we do, but probably the most exciting thing that I like to be a part of is the actual graduation, because that is the one time when we have been with the students, because we have events, we have welcome backs, we have spring flings, fall festivals, where the staff and students get together. But graduation is like the best time on campus because we get to celebrate you, the student, and what you have done. And we do a lot to make sure that you are celebrated in the right way. Even through COVID, we try to make sure that our graduates know how special they are to us. So graduation is probably the best event, in my opinion.
So for NC State, we have a lot of fun traditions, but one that comes to mind is the Krispy Kreme challenge. So there's a Krispy Kreme donuts located in downtown Raleigh, and it's just a couple miles down the road from NC State's campus. And each year in February, NC State hosts, it's called the Krispy Kreme challenge. And basically students will come together, and community members too in the Raleigh area. They'll run to Krispy Kreme, eat a dozen donuts, and then run back to the bell tower at campus. So it's a fun and super interesting event. I've never participated, but I have volunteered, and you definitely see some people running back and they do not look well, but they're having a great time. So that's probably one of my favorite traditions.
Thank you. Our next question here is, give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
So I know I mentioned it in the presentation, but I think it's just so neat that ACC has the longest 2-year running biotechnology program in the country. And I think that really says something because our graduates love the program, but also we're nestled here, in the Piedmont Triad, right near Research Triangle Park. LabCorp is a huge company located here as well. So it's a good way for us to connect with the companies around, and then also for our students to get to know them as well too, and also employment. So I just think that's a fun fact. In all of the country, here in Graham, North Carolina, we have the longest 2-year running program, and we're going to have a beautiful building honored for that, basically. So that's a fun fact, really cool.
That's awesome, Ashley. At Piedmont, we have a long history. We've been here. We're actually last year we were actually celebrating our 50th year as a community college here with the state of North Carolina. So for 50 years, well, 51 years now, we have been working with students to get them back into the job market, to get them employed, as well as making sure that we're helping getting students back into the four-year colleges and just helping them get their education. So we have a long-standing history. That is something that's one of the most important facts, and that's the fun fact I think about Piedmont, is that we've been here and we're continuing to stay. We're just making sure that we stay up to what our students need.
So one fact with NC State, and it's the first thing that came to mind and probably one of my favorite highlights about campus, is that we make our own ice cream. It's called Howling Cow Ice Cream. You can buy it at Harris Teeter and other stores now, but it's actually made from milk with the cows that NC State has on its vet campus. So we were started as an agriculture and mechanical arts school. So agriculture is big to the North Carolina area, of course, but it definitely holds a place in NC State's heart too. So we sell our ice cream in the libraries. It's a fun treat for students. There's a lot of different flavors. And definitely something fun that people like to try when they come visit campus.
Awesome, thank you. I absolutely love to hear all the interesting and fun facts and just fun traditions and events on campus. I think that's truly what makes each school unique. And I can say that the Howling Cow ice cream is amazing. So feel free to try that if you get the opportunity. Our next question that often comes up is, what is the number one question that you receive from students going through the college search process? Again, what is the number one question that you receive from students going through the college search process?
Going through the college search process, I think going back to like what Patricia had mentioned before about researching, a lot of schools we're all so different. So a lot of students think it's the same process when applying to a four-year school versus a two-year school. And some have application fees and some don't. So really there can be a lot of confusion when looking at the colleges, and it's not a problem, or, it's easy to assume that they're all the same, but they're different. So I guess just, to say, so you don't confuse yourself, just research the schools, go to cfnc.com and just look at the differences. And not all schools offer the same program. So a school like you've been maybe thinking of going to, since you were in middle school, might not have the program you're looking for, and then your dreams just kind of crash. It's important to do the research, because we're not all the same. We're all unique in our ways. We all might offer a lot of the same things, but we're different. So I get that a lot, because a lot of people think you have one program, but you don't. So just be mindful and just research and just take the time.
I wonder if, Ashley, if you get the question, the main question that we get of our students is, if going to a two-year school will I get the same education I receive at a four-year school? Mm-hmm. A lot of students think because they're coming to the two-year school that the education is somewhat lesser than what they receive on the four-year level. But I have to explain to them, if the four-year levels accept our classes, so they have to be on that same caliber. So that's one of the main questions that we get, and we let them know that coming to the two-year school is not a step down. You're actually giving yourself a hand up, so that when you get there, you're already ready. You don't have to work as hard to finish, because you already have some credits behind you, so you can take a little bit of extra time while you're doing everything else. So that's one of the main questions we get being a community college.
I love that you mentioned that, because I think both Alamance and Piedmont have talked about how they partner with four-year institutions like NC State, We have about a quarter of our students who come in as transfers, so it's definitely a pathway that's there and can be a great option just depending on what you're looking for. But to answer the question for NC State, I would say a lot of times students will ask, what is campus life like? What is campus culture like? And so we do have information sessions we offer, and students will actually join in and answer those questions. So I think that's great. If you have a chance to talk with current students, definitely take advantage. But I was a student at NC State a little while back now. But just our campus culture, I would say, is very inviting. It's definitely a good question to ask and a good thing to research, because you want to make sure before you commit to a school that you can really see yourself there. Make sure that they have clubs or things, if you want to get involved in, that they have those opportunities. And then also just that, like, academics. So with NC State, we definitely have really supportive faculty members. All of them have office hours. So it's definitely a welcoming and collaborative environment. But campus culture is definitely one of the questions that we get a lot.
Great. There is one question that's come through the Q&A that we're going to bounce on over to. Well, maybe it got answered. So never mind. But this will be new to our presenters. So this will be, thank you all for being flexible. But our next question here is, what are some ways that students can begin preparing for the college search process? Again, what are some ways that students can begin preparing for the college search process?
So I would utilize cfnc.org. It's a wonderful resource, not only looking for colleges, but also there's a lot of great assessments on there you can take that will have you think about programs you're interested in, or you might think it's one program that you're focused on, but your interests fall into another. So it's never too early to start looking at cfnc.org. It's never too late. You know, if you're still looking, if you're not quite sure where you want to go, it's also let you know about deadlines and application processes and requirements. So I would just say taking a look at that and just reviewing it. And you know, like we talked about before, reaching out to colleges and reaching out to schools. It's not hard to send an email. You know, we're not going to bite. You know, we want to hear from you. We want to make sure you're successful. So I would say cfnc.org. If you haven't taken a look at it, definitely do.
Definitely look at CFNC, like Ashley said. Any type of tool that you could use, any of the assessments and all, it would be extremely helpful. But I think the main thing is for you as a student, you need to sit down and decide what it is that you're looking for. List out the things that you're looking for in these schools so that when you actually look at them, you know, you can check that off. I saw this, I saw that. And also make a list of the key factors that you saw at a school that really made you like it. Because I think sometimes people just pick a school by the name. They think if they go to a big name school, it's fine, but you need to look at it because some of these smaller schools, community college, some of the little private schools, some of the smaller public schools offer you some things that you would really enjoy and love other than some of the big name colleges. And I am not telling you not to go to the big name college, but I want you to look at every avenue because the price difference at each school will also make a difference. So you need to also look at the price and know where you fall in there and what you can afford.
Absolutely agree with that. And very similar to what Patricia was saying, like making a list of your values, what's most important to you, or do you want to be close to home? Do you want to be far from home? Are you looking for a large campus culture or smaller class sizes? All of those things are definitely things that are important to look at and kind of do some reflection on. Another resource I would recommend is College Board Big Future. I love that tool. You can sort by things like class size and location, proximity to a certain zip code. So there's a lot of ways to kind of filter. You can search by major as well. And then another thing I would mention is look at the colleges that you might be interested to see if they offer pre-college programs. So a lot of schools will offer summer programs for high school students. It might be specific to a certain major, or it might just be for the university in general as like an introduction, like, hey, here's what NC State has to offer, for example. I know our admissions office specifically, we host a program for students over the summer, and it's residential. So you come and stay on campus, get to know a little about NC State. And a lot of those might be accessible cost-wise as well. I know NC State does offer a few that are free of cost to students, so would definitely recommend looking into pre-college programs also.
Awesome. We are nearing the end, but we do have one last question that we're going to try to squeeze in here. But how is your school preparing for the fall? Again, how is your school preparing for the fall? I know that's a huge question that many prospective students, current students, families are all wondering and thinking about. And so as we figure things out, just how is your school preparing for what the fall is really going to look like?
Yeah, I know that it's so uncertain in times right now. So of course we're focusing on everyone's safety and a smooth transition to classes. I will say we do not offer dorms or living on campus. We don't have any residence halls at ACC. So of course you would be taking classes either from the convenience of your home online or coming to campus. Right now we're 50% of classes are online, 40% are hybrid. So you're in class one week and online the next, and then 10% are solely on campus. So depending on what those classes are, welding, nursing, culinary, it just depends on the class. So we're going to right now stick, as far as I know, with that same process. We may transition a few more on campus depending on what that is. But again, we're focusing on everyone's safety. Majority of classes will be online, and then we'll kind of reassess and look and see how COVID is and determine if we have more on-campus courses available in the spring.
Piedmont is probably along the same lines as Alamance right now. The one difference is we're trying to bring more classes back to campus this fall. We've had a lot of our students requesting to come back to campus. Some of the faculty is wishing to come back, so we will have we're probably going to be around 30% of our classes we will have some face-to-face classes. But we also will continue to have the hybrid classes as well for those that are not comfortable with being there. The main thing is we want to make sure that our students are safe, but we also have to make sure that the faculty and staff are safe as well. So we're going to make sure we're bringing everybody back slowly but methodically so that we can keep everyone safe and keep moving through this COVID.
And for NC State, really quickly, I'm going to send a link in the chat. So we did have a Chancellor's Forum a couple weeks back where our Chancellor kind of addressed a lot of what the fall 2021 is going to look like. But kind of as just a brief overview, we are planning for the university to return to pre-pandemic modes of course delivery, residence living, and just overall operations. So with NC State, most of our courses are pre-pandemic were offered in person. And so it is our goal to kind of resume that for the fall semester, but of course, making sure that we're still following all state and UNC system guidelines and keeping up with safety precautions like we have been since last year till now.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our presenters. We had a great Q&A session, so thank you all for all the information being shared, for being so open and here. So we appreciate you all, and thank you to each of you for joining us. We have reached the conclusion of this session. Again, thank you to everyone. As we close, there'll be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback will be really helpful. And there is a transfer fair coming up here in the next couple weeks. If you are interested, feel free to sign up at strivescan.com/Carolinas. And lastly, this recording will be available a week from today at the same place at strivescan.com/Carolinas. Again, thank you all and have a great night.